kills is a statement right there in game number 1.
Yeah. So the question for me is, what does Queen's Gambit do? That was Necrodancers map pick. And so that means either they've lost having had the advantage of first pick, or Necrodancers just had a strong map. So is Queen's Gambit going to take themselves to a map that they feel stronger on? Or are they just saying, well, maybe Necrodancers are just really good at Infernal Shrines?
Well, they're definitely good there. I think this team is also outstanding on Tomb of the Spider Queen. I've seen them play that Stitches there as well. Really, any map that can take advantage of a Stitches, they're gonna be wanting to go to. So we'll see if Queen's Gambit is smart enough to know that, and potentially keep us away from some of those maps that Necrodancers wants to play that Stitches on. It looks like we are headed to Tomb of the Spider Queen.
And this is in fact Necro's map pick. So Queen's Gambit thinking that they can get another crack at the draft here with first pick. It's not that I dislike their draft, it never worked out, and Huff money. Stitches is too money, man. It's too good.
Definitely too much Huff money. There's two types of money in this world. There's fiat money and there's Huff money.
We are gonna go right into the game here. We're gonna see what they ban out. I'm not sure if do they ban the Stitches here? Well, Genji, of course, being
Genji, of course, yeah. This is what we saw in game number 1. Be prio for them.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe Queen's Gambit says, no, we're going to take the Stitches. This is not a bad map for it.
What was their second ban? I broke down Chromie twice, apparently. For Queen's Gambit, what was their other ban last game? Do you remember?
Well, Necrodancers banned Chromie.
Right, Necrodancers banned it, and I accidentally wrote it down here for Queen's Gambit.
Yeah. Oh, Blaze immediately banned it. I'm not surprised. Definitely, Waif, they're very good on this map. And Yrel was their second ban.
Okay. Perfect. So definitely the same stuff here for Necrodancers, Chromie, Yrel being banned out. Quick pick here on Johanna, which we saw in game number 1. I think a little bit better of a map for her. This is definitely where she shines.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Johanna worked out real well. It was just, you have a really hard time dealing with those hooks.
Right. So we'll see. The Stitches is available. Do they want to hop on him again? And Ghost, I'm not going to be even the least bit surprised if we see Stitches right here in this 1-2 pick, and there it is.
There he is. So Queen's Gambit probably betting on the fact that they know how to draft against him if they have a few more picks ahead of time. Last map, Stitches got picked in the 3-4 position, so that gave them less time to react to it. And here we're going to get the Hanzo hyper carry.
All right, Tass Hanzo.
Is this a Faye Hanzo?
Could be, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd guess so. I think Tastar, this is another really good map for him. The smaller maps, he's able to drop his Psy Storms and stack up really quickly. I think his Archon gets some pretty good value here. He can help delay those turn-ins a lot better than most heroes. Mm-hmm. Sonya the ban here for Necrodancers.
Yeah, I think you got 2 target bans here. They did not like playing against the Rainer. I think that may have also had an influence on the previous game, is just allowing Jimmy through and letting him be picked up. But yeah, I think Chromie definitely a target against Faye, and Sonya definitely a target against Equinox.
Yeah, turns out Jim Raynor is actually a pretty good hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, you throw in some Stitches slam slows and that's some dead targets, man.
Legit. They grabbed the Phoenix Diablo here, so Stitches gonna be played at the off lane position, I do believe. Gonna go for that slam build again, but probably Huff money once again, given those hooks.
And I don't think it's necessarily Huff money playing the Stitches. Last time, I believe it was Azariel playing the Stitches on this map when I casted them. So they flex it around, but the team really loves the hero.
Well, Huff Money has promised us that Daddy is coming, so we're going to see who exactly Daddy is, or if Daddy is just on a different hero this time. But Thrall Karazim picked up here, and we've been seeing this a lot, the hyper carry Tassadar with the Karazim support. It gives you a little bit more damage, a little bit more flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
And into the Deckard Cane, probably pretty good. The Cleanse at 16, probably good against the Deckard Root. And Gul'dan being picked up here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, very good hero on this map. You don't see a whole lot of Gul'dan anymore, but the Fear, very strong against a hyper carry type comp.
Yeah, I think that Horrify is going to be the game changer, because if Domo Variant can hit it and get a target like Tassadar, who's not going to be able to use Dimensional Shift while he's in that Horrify mode, that's a kill on Tassadar. If they find it on something like a Hanzo, not able to leap over a wall, that's a kill on Hanzo. Gul'dan going to be a playmaker here, and Domo Variant, I believe this is almost an identical comp to the one I casted them in that third place match during Cup number 2, and as mentioned, Azariel will be switching over to the Stitches here in game number 2.
Yeah, and we already do see that, in fact. And does this mean that Stitches is daddy, or does it mean that Huff Money is daddy and now daddy is on Diablo?
Daddy D, baby. Daddy Diablo, right? Go.
Anyways.
Game number 2, Tomb of the Spider Queen. Your game 1 winners on the left-hand side, Necrodancers. Physicals on the Phoenix. Huff Money switching over to Diablo. Domo Variant picking up the Gul'dan Quantum on the Deckard Cane, and switching over to the big Hookerino. Stitches can be played by Azariel.
All right, and on the side of Queen's Gambit, we've got E. Kevin playing Tassadar, E. Toby on Karazim, Equinox on Thrall, Long playing Johanna, and as predicted, Faye playing the Hanzo.
So definitely some fun comps here. I like the side of Queen's Gambit. I think it is exciting to see Hanzo hypercarry type. Of course, a Thrall here to help provide some of that damage. But anytime you have a Tassadar and you get to pair it with a Karazim, it's just a nice breath of fresh air in what has become a somewhat stagnant support hero pool here in competitive play.
Yeah, I'm really glad to see that come out. Thrall immediately going bottom here, along with the Stitches, so we're going to have a classic bottom solo lane. Domo Variant stepping up, trying to get those stacks, and Echoed Corruption is already at 4. And Diablo going for the Feast on Fear talent. I see a lot of different Diablos at 1, but everything else is always the same. It's usually W build straight across the board.
Yeah, this is actually pretty unique for me. I haven't seen too much of this Feast on Fear, looking to get those shadow charges. But do you think not having with the Black Soulstone, do you think that is going to inhibit, especially late game, having a health pool, or do you think it's smart going up against something like a potential 7-sided strike?
I think it's odd for this map, because I could see both Feast on Fear and Devil's Due, because there's so many globes on this map and you're constantly getting souls. That globes will just give you a ton of health regen, but there are a lot of walls, and so the more slams you get into walls, the more health you get back. So calculation here from Huff Money on the Diablo that he's going to get more slams than globes, and that's going to keep him up in terms of health.
So far, really nothing too big happening around the map. Gul'dan looking to get his stacks. Hanzo looking to get his stacks. Thrall stacking as well. A lot of stacking and scaling going on in this game. Playing patient, but we do see that both of these knights been picked up here at mid, and they're being escorted currently by Necrodancers that cleared up the ones from Queen's Gambit, and now they're getting some siege onto this mid wall.
Yeah, big tempo. Taking control of the tempo of this game here are Necrodancers. Physical's just sitting there getting a lot of structure damage just from this camp alone. One tower is down, and nobody can really step up to the Gul'dan and camp pressure.
I think they're going to have this problem for a lot of the game, because outside of having a good Dragon's Arrow, Blessed Shield follow-up, maybe a root with a Wolf from Thrall, the early game lockdown is almost non-existent for Queen's Gambit. So those sort of sieges, especially with the Phoenix who can warp back to safety without threat of being interrupted, I mean, that's what you saw on display there. It was just basically free damage onto the wall because of lack of CC there from Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, Queen's Gambit does have a small lack of CC, but don't forget, Blessed Shield is still really huge. You Blessed Shield and you root somebody, Hanzo will be able to focus them down and just absolutely destroy them. And also, don't forget, Tassadar has been sitting top here, just quietly collecting gems, quietly collecting XP. So Hanzo has been without the shielding and hyper carry-ness of this composition for now.
Taking away a giant camp on the bottom side. Karazim and Hanzo grabbing that for Queen's Gambit. They're going to try to sit here and siege up a bit up against Stitches all by himself. Azariel here in defense. No rotation coming as of yet from Necrodancers. Seems like they are content in picking up advantages in the other lanes, turning in some gems as well, as they do have enough for their first turn in. Still yet to gather the gems necessary is Queen's Gambit. Domovarian with the final 6 needed, but here comes Thrall with the interrupt, and a fight is breaking out.
Oh, Thrall tried to get the flank onto Domovarian, but Diablo was right there for the peel, but Equinox makes it out alive, and that is the benefit of having a Tassadar on your team.
Yeah, Tassadar very low though. Oh. Had to use Dimensional Shift to leap over the wall. Faye, survival mode, and makes it back to safety. Still 1 gem away are Necrodancers. They're trying to find on the bottom side, and they do. I believe that was Azariel getting that in. So Blue Webweavers, first of all, they have the level 7 talent advantage as well. See if Stitches wants to get up here and find a hook target. They have just a few moments here with this advantage.
And there's a hook target on Equinox. Equinox getting chunked down. Here's the Deckard root. Gets the Thrall. They're able to get around him. There's the body blocks. There's the slam. Are they going to find the kill on Equinox? Equinox just barely makes it out. The Frostproof Resilience procs, and they get out. But meanwhile, Tassadar has to use Dimensional Shift. Gul'dan gets a ton of damage on Kevin, but everybody is still alive. And I want to mention earlier, that Dimensional Shift up in mid from Kevin, Puff Money was a millisecond away from slamming Tassadar against the wall before Kevin could use his Dimensional Shift. But the Spiders are here, and they're pushing into mid-fort. They're probably going to get this fort.
Yeah, and top wall definitely taking some damage as well. This mid fort is, from my calculation, definitely going to be falling here. Great siege by Necrodancers as it finally does fall. Hook connecting onto Hanzo. The follow-up stun. Faye has fallen on that Hanzo. And up top, Johanna's the only one in defense. Rotation coming out from Necrodancers, and they might be able to pick up a second fort here, as not a lot of counter siege available currently. No minions though. They're gonna be able to clear them up with the Psy Storm, so they'll save the fort. But
yeah, enough wave clear to prevent that from happening. But man, what hook on Hanzo. Hanzo not nimble enough to leap over that wall to avoid the hook, and Azariel finds himself a target.
And you know their comms are just like, yo, I got this hook right now, Diablo, get ready. And the Shadow Charge was so quick to come out and lock down. I always forget what Hanzo's leap is called, but
natural agility.
Natural agility was
Genji's cyber agility.
Yeah, the natural agility just wasn't able to be used because of that Shadow Charge. So again, really good timings here by both of these warriors here for Necrodancers.
Yeah, and Azariel has really good positioning too to get the hook in a place where Diablo is immediately able to follow it up onto a wall stone.
Knights pushing down mid. Looks like they're able to be cleared up here by Gul'dan. Phoenix threw a couple of his big AAs at it, but finally, red Webweavers are called down. They're down that heroic talent here, but they're going to play their Webweavers anyway and potentially try to get their 10s right here on this push. But do you think this opens up an avenue for an easy defense? I mean, they're still at least a half level away, and they have all their ults up right now. We see Gorge, Purification, Salvo, Lightning Breath, Lord NATO, and Horrified. Is this an early misplay on getting these Webweavers out before the ultimates?
I don't think so. I think basically what's happening here, but a real tough route there on the Hanzo. I think what's happening here is they need 10, and they're real close to it, especially if they get all these minions, they get all these towers. The alternative is to running around without Webweavers trying to get 10 and risking a potential pick. So this is basically Queen's Gambit saying, this is going to get us back into the game. We get our 10s now. The Spiders are almost dead, but they can try and find themselves an avenue for attack.
And as you get those 10s, you see the Earthquake and the 7-side strike. Here it is on Diablo. He's using that Lightning Breath, which puts him in a very vulnerable spot for that 7-sided strike. Tassadar low dimensional shift, 38 health, has to shield himself. Back to safety is the entire team, at least for now, from Queen's Gambit. They do survive. And here comes a re-engage with the Dragon's Arrow. Domovarian under trouble. He's in a really bad spot and does fall. Fallen as well. Double kill. Picked up and a lot of gems on the floor. as Kerosene blinks to safety. What an execution there by Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, this is the hyper carry comp. You think you get them low, you back up for just a few seconds. Everybody gets just well enough. You turn around, an amazing Dragon's Arrow from Faye there, securing them in the position to make that turnaround, get those big kills. And there it is. Like I said, they found themselves 10. They finally found an avenue attack. They found Diablo all alone. Perfect professional CC chain coming out from Queen's Gambit with the 7-sided strike. Physicals getting themselves a camp right here just to bring back, and another turn in for Queen's Gambit as they may be able to turn this game right around.
Oh, dude, those kills were huge. Not only did they pick up the kills, they made Necrodancers drop the gems they needed to get their turn in, as now the red Web Weavers back-to-back are being dropped. They're going to be able to clear up this night camp before the Web Weaver is here. So they're going to sit in mid lane. They're still behind slightly on XP as the hook misses there. Good attempt, but not successful there by Azariel. But this is really their opportunity to start making a move. And here's the Dragon's Arrow. There's a 7-sided strike, and Diablo low, very low, and falls. Tough money getting destroyed by that combination of the Dragon's Arrow 7-sided strike.
Dragon's Arrow has such a long stun time. It's basically the amount of time 7-sided strike lasts.
I think the butt shield was used there as well to help hold it through. So, yeah, really good combo there. Equinox in trouble, hooked in, has to use his Earthquake, and he will survive back to safety, find some healing from Toby and that Kerosene. That was risky right there. Almost got picked off.
Equinox trying to bite off a little bit more than he could chew. Completely out of mana, so can't sustain quite as long. Just uses Earthquake and backs out, eats an ult, and they're going to be okay.
Now with their own lead in the game, Queen's Gambit 4-1 on kills, 13-12 on levels. Sitting up here on this boss pit to see if anyone wants to make a move forward. Decker King gonna step up, throw out an ability to reveal that Johanna is there, moving forward with an iron skin now, and backing off wisely is going to be Necrodancers. Neither team has enough gems, but closer right now is Necrodancers. They're gonna look to pick them up and potentially find a turn in here.
So it looks like they're starting mid. Here's a Dragon Arrow out once again. This time onto Stitches, but they're able to get inside the 7-sided strike and absorb a lot of that damage. Lightning Breath gets Equinox very low. Everyone's trying to back out. Kerosene giving Longs a little bit of movement speed, I believe. And they're just going to clear out. They almost turned that around. The Dragon Arrow 7-sided strike didn't work because Diablo and the rest of the team rushed in to soak up the extra damage that Kerosene does. They're not able to focus that target down. They almost turned it around, but man, Tassadar and Kerosene too much.
They're looking for a fight here, trying to defend against this turn-in as Queen's Gambit. Still 5 seconds before at least the Earthquake is available for Queen's Gambit, so there's not much they can use. The Lornado is used there by Decker Kane to push him back, but it's not nearly enough to find an avenue to get these gems in. Still 23 more gems have to get cashed in to get these Web Weavers. They're now moving to the bottom side, but with Tassadar nearby, you're going to have that Side Storm to shut it down. There it is. Hook onto Thrall. Has to use his Earthquake. There's a lockdown by that Scroll of Sealing. The damage is big on Thrall, and they're finding potentially this Johanna. 100 health does fall. Diablo could be counter-killed, though. No, he gets away. The Dragon Arrow used. Not too much success. Purification Salvo going to not do too much either. Trading out some ults, but ultimately it was a kill in favor of Necrodancers, and now they have enough space for this turn-in. They're going to clear up the bottom wave before they do it with Stitches.
Yeah, that was an excellent play coming out from Necrodancers. They managed to find themselves a really good target in Thrall, and I'm not sure if that was planned or not. I'd like to believe it was planned. That was some ping-ponging from Thrall. Diablo slams Thrall right into a wall, and the hook is right there. So it was slam hook. Thrall had nowhere to go, and Thrall didn't end up dying, but Johanna trying to come in for the peel. They turned on her, and they're able to take her down.
So blue Web Weavers on the floor, closer to 16, and perhaps a fort here could get them that 16 they need. And without anyone here in defense, this top fort is going to fall quickly. Let's see how close it puts them to that 16 talent tier. Still need about a fourth of a level, and they're going to find it here on this top wall. Now the defense coming out here from Queen's Gambit, they do not want to give up this structure for free, and the defense is here, but they still have to wait on that Earthquake perhaps. They have the Dragon's Arrow, but still 12 seconds before Thrall is able to join with his own heroic. And now with level 16s finally grabbed here by Necrodancers, I think they're going to have to play a bit more passive than they'd like.
Yeah, with Necrodancers, not just at 16, but Gul'dan just completed his quest, so he had actually not been complete on his Echoed Corruption up until now, and that makes Gul'dan a lot more deadly, and that's going to net them a boss.
Yeah, they know Thrall was just bottom lane, so they're ripping this boss quick, but here comes Queen's Gambit. It's scouted out by both teams. Both teams know exactly what's going on here, and leashing the boss away is Necrodancers. They do not want to take that risk with this lead. Instead, they're going to find a hook on the Johanna. She has Iron Skin back to safety. They're all here to help provide some poke onto this team, but they have to back up. Queen's Gambit does not want to take his fight before 16 goes.
Really, really good job from Queen's Gambit, scaring them off that boss, 16 to 15. Queen's Gambit may have indeed won a fight there if they got aggressive enough, but Long is in trouble here. Is Iron Skin up soon? There it goes, just in time. Up money, not able to get them, but there's a lightning bug trying to finish her off, but not able to get her. She walks out in time. There's a 7-sided strike, but it's onto too many targets, not able to get a kill. But Diablo looking very low. The Scatter Arrow and the Kerosene damage take him out. Huff Money, though, finds an Archon Tassadar, and Tassadar goes down. Everyone's getting very low. There's the Fear. Oh, he almost gets killed, but he has a heal just in time. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Necrodancers. What a good turnaround from Necrodancers.
Don't mind my oohs and ahs in that fight. That was beautiful play there by Necrodancers. The Horrify, as mentioned, is really, especially in these later game fights where they're getting desperate to try to find an engagement. Domovarian locking in that kill, that time on Tassadar. But, I mean, overall, neither team really separating from the other. It's still a very close game, Ghost. It really could start going either way. Both looking for that third turn-in as they're both grabbing their knights here. But gem advantage is huge because so many were dropped there in that last engagement fight by Queen's Gambit. They dropped so many. And only 2 away from having enough are Necrodancers as they find a hook onto Tassadar. Included is the Gorge. Going to throw it down, probably try to seal in Tassadar, but not in time. Has Dimensional Shift, as he definitely should use and does. He kept him back to safety. The Knights are able to be cleared up here by Necrodancers.
And Necrodancers not only have a Knight camp pushing, but they're going to get themselves a turn, and they've got themselves 61 gems. I don't know if Queen's Gambit can stop it, but Physical's out here trying to get some damage onto Johanna. Johanna trying to clear up this wave.
Ooh, they find another hook this time on Thrall. Didn't get the stun to the wall, but locked inside this Necrocane Root and a Horrified double kill. Will they make it 3 as Tassadar's low? No, he dimensional shifts away, surviving for now, but a double kill once again picked up by Necrodancers, as well as another turn-in. Do they want to move up the boss before finishing this turn-in? No. They're going to take the Web Weavers instead. They want to get keeps. They're looking keeps this time in the game, Ghost.
Yeah. It would have been taking too long to go get that boss. You want to take advantage while the death timers are still active. Everyone would have been back up, so they get the Web Weavers pushing as much as possible. They're stepping up as Azariel trying to find a hook position. Here's a classic hook position in this little corner right here. Oh, just misses. Hits a structure instead of Tassadar. Kevin, you don't know how lucky you are, my friend.
I don't know how far that hook actually went that time.
It hit the corner of the wall. There, but they are pushing it here onto this with this Web Weaver. Everybody is back up on the side of Queen's Gambit. Thrall looking for a flank. Here he comes. Goes in with the root, gets hooked in, but Phoenix goes down immediately. And
watch out for 7-sided strike. There it is. Yeah, Diablo
getting very low.
Hanzo can jump in with the Dragon's Arrow. He does. Look at this. Q damage coming out. Oh, not enough.
Big scatter arrow on the Domovarian, but there's a Gorge onto Kerosene. Kerosene probably has a dash available onto Tassadar, but there's the root, there's the stun. The CC changes too much, and down he goes. They lose a keep in the process. They trade out, I think, 1 for 1.
And that was 17 more gems on the floor. Kerosene dropping him there. So you lose your Phoenix early, but you're happy right now if you're Necrodancers. You get a keep. You get that kill at the end on the Kerosene holding some gems, which now, look at the count, 33 only being held right now for Queen's Gambit. They got some work to do. And, you know, with level 20s, do they want to start making a play for a boss? They're going to be able to take a fight right here. They find Johanna. Ironskin is down. They don't get the lock in with that Scroll of Sealing. But they do get another flip. There's a hook. Long now getting pulled back, but they're finding damage. Tornado going to be used to push back after that Earthquake was used. So great job there by Decker to make sure that that Earthquake isn't getting value. Faye so low, doesn't have healing available and falls with Hanzo dead now. This is the signal to charge in. Shadow charging in is Diablo. The double stun onto Equinox, and he's going to fall with that Purification Salvo. They also pick up a kill onto Johanna. So now we're 3 down, and this keep already destroyed, marching forward, looking for a 2-0 victory here over Queen's Gambit. Are they going to pull up 7-sided, gonna keep them alive, but the Gorge might be all that they need to find Itobi, and see you later. Now 4 dead. Necrodancers on core.
Yeah, Necrodancers looking for swag points there, trying to fear out the Carriers team before he is able to 7-sided away. They don't make it happen. Kevin's gonna die here. The core goes down. Queen's Gambit goes down to Necrodancers. They take the series 2-0. And man, my goodness, Diablo throwing Thrall around like a ragdoll once Hanzo went down. I think Diablo ending up being the true daddy of that last fight as Necrodancers take this game. And man, Queen's Gambit really had a tough time finding a handle on this game into that Stitches hook.
Yeah, both games, I don't know if teams need to start scouting Necrodancers. They love playing the Stitches.
Mm-hmm.
You saw Necrodancers put out the ban on Chromie both games, target away Faye. Maybe teams need to start looking at the combination of Huff Money and Azariel playing the Stitches really, really well and getting it on 2 maps that I think Stitches has an enormous amount of value on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, they thought, oh, we can counter the Stitches, but I think just too much happened. Thrall got hooked a lot, and Karazim was not able to come in for the save. You saw the Tassadar Karazim combination really allowed them to sustain, turn fights around in a lot of positions, but too many hooks is basically the whole thing. I think you remember that song, right? Too many hooks.
Of course, my favorite song from my childhood, ghostDunk.
It was a meme a long time ago. Anyways, that's too much memeing for now. We are going to jump to a break very soon. It looks like we are going to Team Min-Max versus those guys. I will remind you to check out the HeroesHype Patreon page, patreon.com/HeroesHype. We've got a lot of rewards, including swag bags for the highest reward tiers, and just $5 a month, so you can join the Discord. I've gone in and I've been a Patreon to HeroesHype. They support amateur heroes and the hero scene. I enjoy casting and volunteering for them, so make sure to check that out. Make sure to check out all our social media down in the links on this Twitch channel. Anything else, Murda?
Sounds good, man. You're hitting all the points that I love to mention. HeroesHype, such a great organization, and definitely proud to be a part of it, and glad to be casting here with you tonight, ghostDunk. Been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic game so far. Really good, exciting series from all teams involved, and really excited to see how the next one goes. So we're going to take you to a break right now, and we'll be back with Team Min-Max versus those guys.